This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while. All of the clips are from Ireland. Two of them are from the Scamdemic period. And at the time, I made a mental note of those videos, and I thought I would get back to them. I think back in the day, I did make a little video about one of them, but it's long gone now. Anyway, I will show you four video clips. The first one is a recent one. I saw it yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it relates to a hole in a beach, a hole in a beach. And it turned out that two guys with a kid's plastic spade or whatever, they dug the hole, a rather large hole in the beach. And some media company thought it would be, a great scoop, no pun intended. And I'll play the video, I'll comment throughout. You're probably going to hear me laughing in some parts of this. But yeah, let's start. So this is the first one. I will be pausing a lot.
Yesterday, and he's certain the small but heavy rock inside it came from up above.
Let's go back.
It's a huge, mysterious crater that looks out of this world. But is it? The unusual hole on Portmarnock Beach stopped local astrophysics enthusiast Dave.
So, astrophysics is the word you think of here, or you hear astrophysics. So this guy's an expert.
Kennedy in his tracks yesterday, and he's certain the small but heavy rock inside it.
So he obviously got into the hole and he pulled out this rock, and you'll see he's very attached to that rock. That rock, it means a lot to him.
Came from up above.
As you can tell by here, there's a scorch mark on this side here, so that would have been at the angle that it came down at.
So this guy has done his homework. He's done calculations. He knows the angle of the meteor. Amazing stuff here, guys.
And it is weighty. I'm not sure if it's composition.
Now, for the lay people in the audience, weighty is another way of saying heavy. All right, just I have to translate these words for you guys.
But we're definitely going to have to find out.
The striking hole soon caught the attention of passers-by.
So you can see the expert. He's now spreading the message to the commoners, explaining to them how the meteor, hit the impact site on the beach, how it hit the sand and made the hole. And they're all taking photos. They're amazed. They're just amazed by this.
Many hoping.
And I think there are even dogs there. So the dogs on the street are going to know about this amazing freak of nature. Something that came from out of outer space. I'm getting tongue-tied. I'm so excited here. They're amazed
that what they're witnessing is the aftermath of a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic event.
Now, just a quick thing to say. Some people say that Canadians are a bit stupid, but I don't think they're stupid.
On the beach in Nova Scotia in Canada, and I gotta tell you, I don't have meteorites landing on my beach at my house. So, thank you for a great experience once again, Ireland.
Is it a surprise? What do you make of it?
Wow, I mean, look at the size of it.
So we're down here quite a lot.
I say that Canadian has probably put a bid in for the stone, maybe 500 Canadian dollars. He wants that stone. He's probably spent thousands on souvenirs already on his holiday. But if you can get that stone, that black stone, it'll make his day.
And no, never seen anything like this before, so it's pretty spectacular.
There has been no confirmation that this is the site.
So the expert, he's standing back now. He's standing back and looking down into the deep hole, and he's pondering, and he's not letting go of that stone.
Of a meteor strike, but Dave is optimistic.
And only about a month ago I was watching a documentary from NASA on exactly what you're looking at behind you. So when I looked at it and saw how uniform it is and the blast crater, I knew immediately that I was looking at it as an impact site.
Dave has spent...
So Dave now, he's going for a stroll. He's going for a stroll along the beach. He doesn't seem to notice that the cameraman is right in front of him, reversing. He doesn't seem to notice that. Dave is staring out across the ocean, wondering when the next meteor is gonna land. It's gonna hit the ground. So, and he's still holding on to that rock. He doesn't want anyone to take that rock.
Spent the day reaching out to astronomy experts to see if they can help him solve the mystery of the crater on the beach. The next step is to get this rock tested, see what it's made of, and see if
Right, I think the rock is made of rock, but what would I know? What would I know?
this can be confirmed as a meteor strike in Dublin. Hannah Murphy, Virgin Media News on Portmarnock Beach.
Okay, so this young lady has got the scoop of the century. Who would have thunk it? She was probably tipped off. Hey, there's a big hole. There's a big hole. There's a big hole in the beach down here. And she said, "Oh well, I'm going to get down there before the other paparazzi. I'm going to be the one to break this amazing story, and it's going to make me get promoted. I'm not going to look like a fool. It's the story of the century." And she, in fairness to her, she got it. She got it. She's the one who got this. Okay, so the next one now. It becomes a little bit more sinister now, guys. So this is, I think, this was around, was it October, November, give or take, 2020. So, this is about 8 months into the scamdemic. You think people after 8 months would get a bit of sense, but unfortunately, as if some of you recall, people became a little bit dumber and dumber. I think they'd invested so much in the scamdemic in the first 6 months that 8 months later they had doubled down, and then a year later they doubled down even more. They didn't want to feel stupid, like perhaps someone on this screen at the moment who's sitting down in front of a hole in the sand. So here we go. I'll go through this. This will be a longer clip. I'm going to pause this a lot as well.
Me for a minute to say this, because in fact, if I may, to ask you to just maybe park all of the noise and park all of the chaos of the week just over here. And
okay, so I'm amazed at how he does this. He's practically telling the audience, there's a lot of fear about, a lot of people are upset, obviously because of the likes of RTE, the national broadcaster for whom he worked. And he's telling the audience, put all that to the side, all that to the side, please. I want your undivided attention. And now I'm going to speak about COVID. now I'm going to give you the same message we've been giving you for the last 8 months. I'm going to give you the same message.
And let me for a minute to say this, because essentially we're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads in this country tonight, and the plain fact is that we're going to go one way or the other. It's a very simple choice. COVID will either run out of control in the coming days, or COVID will be suppressed. That's it.
So there you go now. And he's not a virologist. He's not a virologist, but he knows there are two possibilities. Either COVID will disappear or COVID will continue. Now, this is just incredible information to get. And, the Irish people, they're right to pay the TV license. They're right to pay the TV license. And this company, also has the right to get money from companies for advertising, and to pay big salaries to guys like this. It's amazing information. COVID will either continue or it will discontinue. Wow.
Choice. It's grim, I know. And if I'm honest with you, I'm as fed up with it all as you.
Okay, I don't think he is. Now, this is my impression here. I don't think he is, because I believe he made a lot of money during the COVID years. Possibly he made more money than many people thought. So I get the feeling he's not being honest here. I get the feeling, COVID was the gift that kept giving.
You are, believe me. But here's the thing. All of you watching tonight.
You'll see this. He keeps joining his hands like he's praying. This is to communicate to the elderly Irish people who, for the most part are practicing Catholics. He's communicating to them especially.
Right, from every home, in every townland, and every village, and every city, in every county, and in every province of Ireland has the power to decide where we go and where we go from here. You did it once before, don't forget that. You decided that you didn't want COVID to savage any more of our beautiful grandparents.
So this is just incredible propaganda here and guilt tripping. He's more or less saying, you're good people because you don't want elderly people to die. And if you still don't want elderly people to die, you're going to have to, sacrifice even more.
Or to overwhelm our hospital wards. You decided that you didn't want COVID to play Russian roulette with the lives of our healthcare workers. You decided that you didn't want the schools to stay shut in September, and they didn't. 1 million children went back to school because you decided that was the priority. And you made...
I would say 1 million children were very unhappy going back to school. But anyway.
That happened by your choices and by your actions. And now, as the saying goes, winter is coming, and the graph is going in the wrong direction. And
so there you go. All the sacrifices you've made in the last 7 or 8 months mean diddly squat, because the graph is going in the other direction. The computer model is going in the other direction. So, all the sacrifices you made weren't good enough unless you can make even more sacrifices.
Really badly. At the rate that COVID is currently spreading in our communities, we're facing into the spectre of days.
Now, he's going to use this word spectre a lot.
And nights on hard chairs in A&Es across the country because the hospital beds are full with COVID patients. The spectre of intensive care beds filling up with the sick and the vulnerable. The spectre of more friendless funerals, more needless goodbyes, and more hurt and more sadness. So what I'm saying is, please don't catch it.
Please don't catch it. So you've got a choice. You can actually decide not to catch it.
Please don't pass it on.
Don't pass it on. Don't go hugging people or shaking hands or anything like that. Don't pass it on.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. And then, a few minutes later, wash your hands again. And, a few minutes later, wash your hands again.
Keep your distance.
Keep your distance. Yeah, keep your distance. Don't socialize.
Wear the wretched mask, for God's sake.
Wear the wretched mask, for God's sake. So he's saying the wretched mask. He's kind of saying, yeah, I don't like the mask either. It's wretched. But, we're in this together, guys.
I'm saying this not because I read a press release or because I watched a news report, or
not because I have a financial stake, in this narrative continuing for the foreseeable future.
Any of this. I'm saying this because, being frank about it, right? I got the phone call. I got that horrible phone call that says, "Bad news, Ryan, you're COVID positive."
Right. Now, you're not going to believe this, right? He's just told you. He got a phone call. And this is 2020. He got a phone call telling him he was COVID positive. Now, you're not going to believe this, guys. This man on your screen now, 3 years later, he's still alive. He's still alive. Absolutely incredible. After getting COVID, he managed to survive. Unbelievable.
It freaked me out. It was awful. Now, I'm not trying to be a hero there. I'm simply telling you, I was one of the people. And COVID is a lottery. I've discovered this because I had it and I didn't need to be hospitalized. I was really lucky. But another Irishman, pretty much my age, who caught it not long after me, suffered horribly for 3 months. And he died on a ventilator with his wife.
Okay, that's the word that I focused on here. He died on a ventilator. So the question must be asked, did he die because of the ventilator? Did he die due to the ventilator? And was he put on a ventilator because every person put on a ventilator made money for the hospitals? But these are very, very important questions that have been asked and we should continue asking. How many people died on ventilators?
His children crying at his bedside. And his daughter sat on that couch.
So there you go. It's a very personal thing. He's actually pointing at the very couch where the daughter sat. So it's very personal, guys. It's not making it up here. This is very personal. It's that couch over there.
2 weeks ago, and she told us how he suffered as COVID ravaged him. Her family are broken, absolutely devastated by his death. And I can't help asking, what was the difference between him and me? And the answer, I realise, is nothing. And until we understand how COVID works,
So there you go. He says, until we understand how COVID works. So nobody knows how COVID works. He said earlier, COVID is a lottery. Nobody knows how it works. It's Russian roulette, he said. It's like Russian roulette. Nobody knows how it works. But listen here now. He's going to tell you something.
It's a lottery. So why would you take the risk? This thing has driven a stake through the heart of who we are and how we live our lives for over 6 months now.
No. COVID did not drive a stake through the heart of how we lived our lives. It was the media and the politicians and the business people who drove a stake through the hearts, a stake through our lives.
And we're all putting a brave face on it. But allow yourself to smile when I tell you that this will end.
So here's the good news, guys.
It doesn't feel like it sometimes. It's exasperating. It's existential. It's challenging. But it will end. I promise you. Until then, I beseech you, please don't let those early sacrifices that we all made so willingly, with pride, with humour, and with honour, to be in vain.
Okay, he's coming up to the selling point here. So I want you to watch this very carefully.
Don't let the over 2,000 lives already lost from this desperate, desperate thing on this island be in vain. Don't stop washing your hands. Don't stop keeping your distance. Don't stop wearing the masks. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up on it. The vaccine is coming.
I'm going to play this a few times. So here you go. The vaccine is coming. The vaccine is coming. We don't know how COVID works. It's a lottery. It seems to kill some people, and then other people, they have it, but they have no symptoms whatsoever. So it's a complete lottery. We have no idea about this novel virus. But you know what? A cure is coming. The vaccine is coming. Now, this is what I noticed. Now, this is a real tell here, guys. When he says the vaccine is coming, you'll see it. And I want you to look very carefully. He looks, his eyes move, his eyes shift. It's like he's looking at someone off screen, as if to say, I've mentioned what you wanted me to mention. So all this talk, it was all about the vaccine. He was building up to talking about the vaccine at the very end. The vaccine is the Deus ex machina. The vaccine is the cure-all. And when he mentioned that, his eyes moved to someone off screen, as if to say, I've done it. I've mentioned the vaccine. It's like he wanted a pat on the back. So just watch this very carefully when he says the vaccine.
Keeping your distance. Don't stop wearing the masks. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up on it. The vaccine is...
Do you see that? It's one of the few occasions in this whole performance that he looks off screen when he mentions the vaccine.
Coming. We're almost there. I'm sure of it. It's a case of hold.
So let me just do that one more time. Just watch his eyes.
Throw in the towel. Don't give up on it. The vaccine is coming.
There you go.
We're almost there. I'm sure of it. It's a case of hold.
All right, and then you get the chirpy music. You know, everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be wonderful. The vaccine is on the way. As soon as we get the vaccine, there'll be no more lockdowns. There'll be no more this. There'll be no more that, etc. Now, here's the next video. So I think this was about a month later. This is called I think this is the Toy Show, which is an annual show. It was originally for kids. And I remember as a kid, you'd stay up late on a Friday night to watch this. And unfortunately, you'd already sent off your letter to Santa. So, you know, you'd see toys that suddenly you'd want. But in your head, it was too late because you'd already sent off your letter to the North Pole. But anyway, this show became more of an adult show, which was kind of freaky. It seemed more for kids originally, and then it kind of morphed into a weird show. So check this out. Now this is, a lot of people will have seen this. It's diabolical propaganda, using a child to promote a pharmaceutical company and its products, and to do it in a kind of surreptitious way. It's disgusting. But watch this.
No. To be tested for coronavirus.
So there you go. Like you can hear this guy Tuberty laughing. It's a very fake laugh. It's as if he's trying to laugh in a way that he's surprised, but he can't be surprised because this seems rehearsed from start to finish.
Okay, so Tony Tuberty is being tested. Was he reporting any symptoms?
No.
No.
Now the girl, you can see she's hesitant here and in other parts of this clip. I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe why she's hesitant many times. She's trying to remember her lines.
He's just a hypochondriac. Okay, so what are you going to do with Tony Tuberty for the test?
So first we need to take a sample of all his known contacts. So he told me he's been in contact with 3 dogs in the last...
Now this is communism 101. This is communism 101. You know, we want to know who he was in contact with. He was in contact with 5 or 3 other people, whatever. It's pretty freaky listening to this.
14 days. So then that goes to the post office to be posted to the HSE.
Oh my God. You children shouldn't know this thing.
You children shouldn't know this. It's an amazing, wow, it's just amazing. You know, children shouldn't be able to say all these things that sound like, you know, someone has, you know, they sound like someone has written them somewhere else and, you know, made the child learn the lines. You know, you children shouldn't know this stuff.
Anyway, that's right. You're dead. You're doing all the right things. Tony would be delighted with you. Go on. The other Tony.
And by the way, the text that appears on this screen is not my text. This text was on the video that I uploaded or downloaded. So just so you know that the text appearing is not mine. Someone else had edited this clip.
What happens next?
Now he gets medicine to help him with coronavirus.
Oh, great.
And,
so did he actually have the virus?
I think so.
Okay.
And over here is the regurgitation station.
What's
if
that?
he needs to vomit.
Oh.
Regurgitation station, you know, it just rolls off the tongue for a little girl.
Oh, I see.
After the medicine.
Okay.
Now we need to get him a Pfizer
Not sponsored by Pfizer.
vaccine.
Gosh, you don't waste time, do you, Saoirse? You're ahead of the game. So does he like...
He's not participating, so we're going to have to knock him out.
Okay. Poor Tony's having a rough day at the clinic. Okay, so you've
now
knocked him
we
out.
need to just check if he's still with us.
Okay, that's a good...
Yep, he's still with us.
He's still with us. Okay, this is great. This is the story of survival, isn't it?
You see, they add a bit of humor into this, a kind of adorable humor, and that's, you know, that's very, very sneaky, very sneaky. It kind of lowers people's defenses, you know, people watching this, people who are becoming skeptical of the last 9 months of draconian measures. See a little girl, there are a few jokes about it, etc., and they start saying, oh, you know, once we get our Pfizer vaccine, this is going to end. It's all about getting that Pfizer vaccine.
So what happens
now
next?
he gets the Pfizer vaccine.
Bang. Okay. And now...
He has to stay in this pod for the next 87 days.
That's a serious quarantine.
Because there's a backlog with the HSE.
Oh, I see. Okay, they'll love that. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to leave him in there for 87 days.
There's a backlog in the HSE. I can't think of any. I don't know how old this girl is. Let's say she's 6 or 7 years of age. I can't think of any kid saying there's a backlog. You know, in the health and safety department, whatever.
Okay.
And according to the Department of Education, schools are safe.
Okay, so that was that one. That was that video. A disgusting piece of scamdemic propaganda. And I'm making this video because I don't want clips like these going down the memory hole. I want people to remember what went on during the scamdemic. And I want these people, these creatures who scared to be Jesus out of people, who made people so frightened that they fell out with family members, the people who drove other people to suicide because those people felt there was no point in continuing. Life was so grim, there was no hope. Walking around the streets wearing a muzzle, possibly being forced out of your job because you wouldn't get a vaccine, These people are responsible. The media people, big CEO corporations, big pharma. Who else? Politicians, obviously, are responsible for this. An absolute farce. Now, here's the final video, which is a little bit more positive, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And I can't vouch for this, but it seems that a woman, she kind of got in under the radar. She got onto a question, question and answer show. And she was able to say that she kind of had lost faith in RTE, which is the national broadcaster. So check this out. Before I play it, guys, make sure to like this video, share it around, because I want people to watch this, especially people from America, Britain, who may not have seen these clips. I know most Irish people will have seen these clips, but people from United States, England, Australia, etc., any country in the world, I want them to look at this and see how sinister the whole operation was. 2020, 2021, 2022, and it's ongoing. It's ongoing this year. But this is the final clip, which shows that some people are waking up. Until soon, and take care.
Or whenever. However, I decided to stop paying the TV license in the last 2 years or so because given what RTE and many other big media companies across the globe, the damage that RTE has done to Irish society around the whole COVID narrative, etc., and we are still reeling from this. So I have stopped watching television. I'd like truthful journalism, truthful news, unbiased news. That's really my main reason. And
yet you know, and you will have heard that a lot of people were very thankful to RTE for how they handled the COVID.
No, well, my background is in medical, and I'm now one of these nurses is picking up the pieces of the damage that's been done by the vaccine, etc. And all this is not being reported on RTE.
Okay, that's a whole other night program.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, you haven't been paying for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Because you don't like the editorial line that RTE has been taking.
Because the damage has been done to Irish society.
Okay. Yourself.